Basically, they're the constituents of proteins. In my practice, I think the big difference is that if you need to lose weight, I think they are looking at MOTS-C to prevent muscle atrophy.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Gimme Coach YouTube channel. I'm naturopathic Dr. Fiona Chin, and I'm joined again today by the wonderful MD, Morgan Camp. Morgan is an integrative doctor, and he's been practicing for well over 2 decades. And Dr. Camp, welcome again. Thank you again for sharing your wisdom and your time with our viewers. It's always greatly appreciated. Can you just describe to people what peptides are and why you and I are so passionate about them?
Peptides are basically chains of amino acids, and some are shorter and some are longer, and they will have different effects depending on the size and the type that they are. So basically they're the constituents of proteins. So peptides make up proteins.
Good. I think let's get straight into them. I've had my MOTS-C and SS-31 injections this morning, so I'm taking both of them. So these are 2 peptides that I am very au fait with as well. So it's great. So do you think there's one more beneficial than the other, MOTS-C or SS-31, or not sure?
Well, I've been using the SS-31 more in my with personally and in my practice. I think the big difference is that if you need to lose weight or have more insulin resistance, then the MOTS-C would be the better choice, or a combination of the 2.
Yeah, and of course I'm using it more in neurodegenerative diseases, which SS-31 seems to be more specific for. They've been using that potentially in Parkinson's and traumatic brain injury as well, I think. So
exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so anything else you want to add about, sorry, I interrupted you. Anything you wanted to add about SS-31 or MOTS-C?
When I've taken SS-31, taking it before exercise is quite nice, because then you notice the improved ATP production while you're exercising. It seems like it definitely allows more exercise capacity. That's what I've noticed.
Yeah, I notice that more with if I have an injection of MOTS-C and then go to the gym, my ability to lift very heavy weight without fatiguing is dramatically improved. And SS-31. And I find here's an interesting thing too, because I'm very lean, right? So people are like, why are you taking anti-obesity? Because they on the thing, they say anti-obesity medications because they're used for that. But I have found taking both of them, I've put on weight. And I suspect that's because my pancreas and blood sugar is actually working correctly. So I feel like it's got a bit of an amphoteric effect, where if you're underweight and sort of that diabetic weight loss kind of person like me, it's improved my ability to obviously shuttle blood glucose inside cells. And so I'm using it more effectively so I can put on a bit of weight versus people who need to lose it. So yeah, and my weight came on in muscle, I suspect. But yeah, I have put on maybe 1 or 2 kilos in the 2 weeks that I've been using it, which is what I wanted, which has been great. So, but I found that super interesting. So
that's interesting. I read studies that I think they are looking at MOTS-C to prevent muscle atrophy.
Okay.
With certain cases, so that makes sense. And there must be some correlation between the 2. I've tried to find that in research, but it seems like there's a lot of overlap between the 2. And my mind goes to, I wonder if taking one is helping you make more of the other. Possibly there might be some overlap between the 2. That's just one of the things I've been curious about, because we've been using both of these with a lot of cases, but it's also maybe possible that you might get a lot of benefit with just one or the other. So if you can only afford one or the other, or you only get access to one or the other, you still likely would get plenty of benefit.
And the other great thing about peptides that we've mentioned in previous podcasts is you don't stay on them forever. So MOTS-C you might do once a week for 6 weeks and then stop. And SS-31, I think it's around 4 weeks and then you stop. So they're not, because they upregulate the body to produce more of its own. It's not something you have to take forever, which I think is something worth reiterating about peptides is they're not a forever thing. You cycle on and off them. So, which I also like, because it means you have to stay on them forever. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but yeah, with all the treatments that are making increase in mitochondrial quality and quantity, it seems like if they do their job correctly and you make the changes that you need to and do everything you need to, then when you have normal or healthy mitochondrial function and number, you're not going to need anything because your furnaces are going to be on full blast working well. So
yeah. Yeah, I think that's one of my favorite things about peptides is not the need to take them forever. Thank you. I really appreciate your time and wisdom as always. If you want to find out more about what we do, head to www.kidneycoach.com. Make sure you hit subscribe. That way you'll get notified anytime we do new videos. And Dr. Camp is always very generous with his time. So I know we've got a couple of great podcasts coming up in the next few weeks. And make sure you head over to our Facebook page, Facebook.com/Kidney Coach. All right. Thank you so much for being part of our community. We look forward to seeing you next time. And again, Dr. Camp, thank you always for your time.